Ratatouille, what do you got?
Bird.
Now it. Stay off the comm.
I do not mind sometimes.
The Suicide Squad has assembled once again, this time on a mission to Koto Maltese to prevent the local government and military from conducting experiments that could endanger the world. The Suicide Squad acts as a sequel and reboot of the DCEU's Suicide Squad. It very quickly reintroduces the concept and idea and then moves on, with only a couple of references to characters having previously met and worked together. Otherwise, this is a completely standalone entry into the DCEU that does not require viewing of the much maligned but Academy Award winning Suicide Squad. This is also the best DCEU film entry to date. It's a film that has a little of everything and will at times please everyone. There's comedy, action, drama, thrills, surprises, emotion, heart and more. The film somehow packs in a lot of big ideas, concepts and elements and presents them in a succinct, digestible and entertaining way. There are only one or two moments when proceedings slow down slightly, and even those are brief, which leads into one of the best features of the film, the pacing. The film kicks things off right from the word go, with a Saving Private Ryan style opening. From that point onwards, the action is almost non-stop, and when characters aren't fighting or blowing stuff up, they're engaging in fun back and forths with often funny dialogue and jokes. Add on to this the escalation of events, with each action set piece increasing the stakes and excitement levels. It's very impressive considering so many of the action moments are exhilarating and crazy, in the best possible way. The film is R-rated too, so there's a lot of blood and gore, a lot of bad language and even brief moments of nudity. This is a film that gives you everything and doesn't apologise for it because everything works well and adds together splendidly. There's a 70s and 80s movie vibe, feel and look to the film too, making it much more pulpy, fun and accessible than the hard, gritty, gory action it otherwise would be. In relation to this, as the title and concept suggests, many of the characters in the film die, often brutal, gory deaths, which contrasts with the prior Suicide Squad film in which only one member of the titular squad died. Some of these are shocking and thrilling, sometimes they're sudden, a death for the sake of developing the concept, and other times they're quite emotional. Writer and director James Gunn manages to make almost all the characters three-dimensional and likeable. It's quite bizarre and incredibly impressive to think that minor, sillier DC Comics characters like Polka Dot Man and Ratcatcher 2 become endearing and relatable characters because of his skill at developing them. Their performance also adds to this element. This helps make certain deaths mean something and elicits certain emotions from the audience, and it adds weight to the events and stakes surrounding the characters. Across the board, the acting is great. Margot Robbie is once again fabulous as Harley Quinn. Idris Elba enters the fold as Bloodsport, a character who is reluctant to be on the team and makes it clear at every given opportunity. As the new lead character, he makes Bloodsport feel like a fully realised individual with weaknesses and limitations. This relates to another positive element of the film, in that every member of the squad has clear strengths and weaknesses. So, they all have their purpose on the team, and they all provide much needed assistance when necessary. They are not just a randomly assembled team of quirky criminals. The surprising standout is that of John Cena's Peacemaker, who manages to go toe-to-toe with critically acclaimed actors like Margot and Idris, matching them in terms of action ability, comedic timing, and dramatic moments. His character is one of the more complex and interesting ones, with very clear morals, beliefs and ethics dictating his every word and action. It makes for a pretty great character and performance. The film is well written and directed with tons of style and great colourful visuals. The presentation is almost episodic, with chapter titles dividing the story. In a slight negative critique, these titles are presented in the environment and can sometimes be a little tricky to read. They're also arguably unnecessary, except for those highlighting time jumps back and forth to display multiple overlapping moments of the story, a bit like in Birds of Prey. The Suicide Squad is a great film and without a doubt the best film in the DCEU so far. It manages to nail its concept and idea with a lot of charm, heart and emotion. The characters are incredibly well realised with good writing and brilliant acting. Even the minor supporting characters feel like well developed real people. The music and soundtrack add fun moments to proceedings and the action is brutal and gory. This is a blockbuster action film I fully recommend, and if you're a DC fan it's a must watch. although it should be stated that it does not tie into other DCEU films in any significant way, so there is no reliance on having seen the other films.